What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Rob. Welcome to another episode of From My Experience. Guess who's finally back?
Finally black. That's you, brother. What's going on, people? I'm back. I can't say like what. That's for another show. But I've been on hiatus for a while.
Oh, yeah. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, dealing with some really humbling experiences in the last 3 weeks or so. But now I'm kind of near the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's a lot of rebooting, refreshing, reinvention that will be going on. And I'm glad to be back on our show with Robert and myself. And I will be back full time.
Shut up.
You an a-hole, you know that?
Those of you don't know, that's Alex, because some of y'all don't know that. Once again, thank you all who have been keeping up with us on the Facebook group From My Experience Podcast. Those of you that have been sending emails from my experience podcast at gmail.com. The SoundCloud page From My Experience Podcast. Everything is streamlined.
Question. Can I interrupt?
Yes.
When he said no more? What?
Like you said, you've been going through a lot of things, so you missed a lot. Bruh, I text the whole group and told y'all I was changing the name. Where were you? Anyway, this is what happens when you're the CEO. You do boss shit. Anyway.
Ew. This was my idea, Mitch. Oh my god. No, that's alright.
Actually, it wasn't. I thought it was, but I remembered I actually had this show back when I was in college. It was called something else, and we should just talk about nasty stuff. Hello?
You know what? I'm gonna just let you have this one.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
Anyway, everyone, I just wanted to thank you. Shout out to our sponsor, Complete Vision Entertainment, LLC, for your DJ services and needs in the South Carolina area. Hit them up. Complete with a K, CompleteVisionENT@gmail.com. They'll give you price quotes, and if they can't handle it, they network with other DJs that will actually be able to get you hooked up. So birthdays, private parties, any festivals, weddings, definitely hit them up. What are we talking about, man? Now I know what we're talking about. My bad. Yo, Alex brought up a very good topic that we should talk about.
Dating in the digital age and the contrast as to dating in like the 80s and 90s. Like, well, I was too young back then to be considering that, but you know, going off of stories.
You were too young in the 90s? What?
Well, actually, I did date in the late 90s. Well, you know, kind of like going with a girl, like you're not like puppy love type shit or whatever, but...
I was in love in 1997. Dana, hey, baby.
What? yeah.
That's from another show, yo.
Wow. But, yeah, there's a vast difference in dating techniques, how people are approached nowadays, just dating culture. You know what I mean? And now, you know, I'm transparent. I am no longer engaged, not in a relationship. So I saw it fit to bring that up because now, you know, I'm not actively seeking someone to replace my now ex-fiance, but it's just something where like I was looking for something stable because dating now is very different. You know, I maybe, how can I say? Starting with the present day, you know, you have a lot of dating apps. A lot of stuff is just online, and you can have a farther range of reach from people all over the world, as opposed to before where you had to go to someplace local and actually get your game right, so to speak. You know, spit game to the girls and go to the club or go to like a social gathering of sorts. Before, like, you had to actually go and do the groundwork. Now you can sit behind the keyboard, sit on your smartphone, put up a couple pictures, and, you know, just wait and see type thing. You know,
he's very right. Go ahead.
No, you could interject.
In contrast, for those of you who are young and don't really understand, and it's funny that I'm at the age now where I have to really break stuff down because younger people really don't know. Facebook was not always around. Twitter, Instagram, apps did not exist. Like, it wasn't a thing. Like, your cell phone was used to call people. You might start doing text. I think text started getting popping like in the early 2000s. Before that, there were two-way pagers. So really, there were party lines, like I talked about on the past episode, where you could call and be in a room with like 8 or 9 strangers on the phone and try to meet up or whatever. But there was no dating app. Online dating probably existed, but it wasn't prominent. Like, you had to go out, go places, and if you saw someone you were attracted to, you had to holler at them. And you had to make it good because you never knew if you were gonna see him again, you know, depending on the area. Like, I was growing up in Philly around my adolescent dating time, so like if you saw a chick, if y'all didn't go to school together or you wanted to holler, you had to handle business right then and there, because there was no, oh, I got her name, I'm a friend on Facebook. Nah, there was none of that. Like, it's like if you want it, you had to go for it right then and there. Whereas now, like Alex said, it's very convenient. I personally am having a hard time letting go of the tradition, because I just really feel like it's real corny if I have to tell my kids I met your mom online, even though by the time I have kids, that will be the reality of probably 70% of their life, so it won't be strange. But I just prefer to meet someone in person for one main reason, and I think I've said this before. I don't like the online stuff because you can make yourself out to be whoever you want to be online. People getting there's a TV show about it. It's called Catfish.
And to caveat on that, like, Robert made a good point. Like, some people create this facade, this mirage, and they lure people in. And then by the time, you meet up with them, like, damn, you're a couple of pounds heavier. Or, you're taking pictures from a certain angle to kind of hide certain stuff. You know what I mean? And also, it's like, there's some pros and cons to that, because, my now ended engagement, like, initially I met this person on social media. And then, through communicating for a period of time, then I said, all right, I want to take it to a point where I want to meet her. And then, we went from there, first date, second date, third date, and then went into the relationship type stuff. In some cases, it may be good, but, like, the one thing that always stands true, even if you holler at a girl back in, like, the 90s, early 2000s, it was something where over time you get to know that person, and it's just like, oh man, you know what, I don't think I want to do this. Online, you could do a better sense of screening. You could actually stalk them a little bit.
And they'll never know.
Yeah, they'll never know. But you could kind of see who their circles are, what they're into, and it's just, but the one ingredient, or the one thing fundamental that doesn't change is, over a period of time, you get to know if that person is what you're going to stick with or not. But, like, the convenience of, like, online and apps and such, you can filter out. Like, for instance, I ride motorcycles. Whoever I run into, if I am to be in another relationship, or if I ever get married at my age, I know that they have to fit a criteria. They have to be active. They have to ride motorcycles. They have to be down with, like, pop culture, gaming, and things like that. So I can now kind of filter some of that stuff out, so I can better pinpoint a better fit. That's when you get, like, eHarmony. You got, well, Tinder. You know what that's all about. Things of that nature.
But you know what?
I don't know. Yeah.
That stuff presents a really bad disadvantage too, in that people, this is why a lot of people can't hold a conversation. They go through your social media and think they know you, so they have you figured out. They don't really ask questions, whereas back in the day, you know what I'm saying, if you dated someone, you had to ask questions. You had to be around them and be with them to know what's going on, what they like and what they do. Like, some of my friends have fallen victim to that. Like, they think, oh, like, from college, they're like, oh, you're nerdy, which I am, and you play video games, which I do, but that has changed and evolved, and you can actually see that on my social media a little bit. But if you actually talk to me and have the conversation instead of looking at a couple of posts, you'll understand that I do this to make money. Like, this is a business. Like, I have an LLC. It's not the pictures and the stuff you see. Shut up. The stuff you see on social media is just scratching the surface, because I'm one of those people where I'm not gonna put my entire life and all my personal business on a web page or a website. If you want to know more, then you'll ask me more, and that way I know you're serious, because you also draw in people who may have bad intentions or ill will, or someone that's trying to use you. You shouldn't. I mean, I get why celebrities do it. You know, it's a status quo type deal, and you want to, you know, show people you're blessed, or you just want to be an asshole and show off, which is fine. But for us commoners, not millionaires, I think you should be very careful about what you put out there. And if someone genuinely wants to get to know you, then they'll make that effort. Like, I don't really condone online dating yet. I'm not against it. It's not something I want to do. But any chick that I truly ever holler at is either someone I'm familiar with from college or someone I've had casual conversation with online. As far as quote unquote online dating, the furthest I've gone ever is really Facebook. I've never dated a random person off Facebook, but as far as the interaction, I start on Facebook sometimes, and then they'll turn into a real life thing. But like setting up a dating profile and all that, I'm not gonna do that. I can't see myself doing that.
Mm-hmm. But you know, I can say while you were talking, something clicking in my head where it's now the way we initiate dating is just different. You know, like we were saying, before you had to go chase. Now you can actually, you know, search and filter, and then it goes down in the DM type stuff. You know what I mean? So, but no matter how you pull them in, it's like our tools are different. Okay, so the tools evolve, techniques evolve, but no matter what, whether you do the online dating or you go to a bar or to a concert or just like a singles club event type thing, no matter what, chemistry will always be the discerning factor that, you know, will make it or break it. You know,
that's true.
So like without that spark or without that stuff, hey, you know, you can have 6 packs and you know, you can have like a nice bikini line and all that, but hey, that could just fizzle. You know, substance, chemistry, and you know, a good match. It takes work. You know, and the funny thing is, when back in the day when you actually had to hunt for your prey, so to speak, that's you know, a plug for my Predator channel. But
I'm getting off.
If you have to go after it, you know what I mean? There's a sense of, man, you know what? I'm really invested. I'm locked in. Like, you know.
Yep.
You know, so online, the lack of having to really, like, let's say they're more into the next swipe to the left or swipe to the right type phase, where it's like, oh, yeah, they can be like, oh, well, she don't talk to me. There's another one. You know. So I think like just by sight, you know, just being around somebody, sensing their smell and all that, like, ooh, oh, hold on, what's going on over here? You know, so there's just vast differences. And like, you know, Rob actually jogged my memory with something.
No, I didn't.
Just shut up. But like I said, if I'm out there like trying to get somebody, like, I love smell. I just something about it will make me remember you. I'm like, damn, I remember that time she was smelling like apple cinnamon something. You know what I mean? You
wait.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna be respectful. There was this girl I had a huge crush on, man, and she wore what's the Victoria's Secret Love Spell. Oh my!
It worked on you.
Yeah. Yo, that scent, and she when I let her know that, she will wear it on purpose. We never hooked up though. But go ahead. God, yo, she was fine. Ooh, I'm gonna be respectful. She's moved on with her life and she has a family, so I'm gonna be respectful.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't go there.
You know what else though? The tables have turned as far as dating. Like, I find myself, it's funny when you're younger, fellas, from my perspective, fellas, when you're younger, it's harder to hunt women because women like to look up, and they kind of want a guy who already has it, and it's like, yo, it takes time to build that. So they typically holler at older guys, and I'm not talking about all women or all men, but typically, because I know some high school sweetheart stories and some college sweetheart stories, but a lot of the times people get caught up in the superficial stuff, and the women get hurt and, you know, mentally beat up, and then you realize, oh, I want a quote unquote good man after you filtered through the trash. You went and climbed, you saw a dump truck, and you jumped in the back of the dump truck. Basically, you know what I mean? The dump truck has some 22s on it, you know, they dressed it up nice, and then you saw like a little, you know, Toyota Camry, and you're like, I don't want that. This dump truck has more to offer me. So after you crawl through the trash, now you want to try to get in that Toyota, and that being, you know, when you crawl through the trash, time passes. That guy you dissed or you thought was whack has built himself up to something else. And we all know, especially as black men, we're rare. A black man with no kids, a good job, no criminal record, educated, I mean, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it's not as common. You know what I mean? And what I mean is a black man with less complications and less obligations in his life. You know,
well, I'll tell you this.
Go ahead.
I was told by a past ex, her half sister said, what you described, me, you, our other peers fit that category, and we're seen as corny. You know what I mean? I've heard that, and you know, my now ex-fiance had a good thing, and due to certain complications, she will not find the class of man that I am ever again. Her track record with the type of people that she dealt with, some were very successful but abusive. You had others who were just like treating her like trash. But then when you get a good one, and situations occur, you want to try to fight and hold on to that. You know what I mean? Even my ex before her, it's like, damn, you know, you had something good. Not to say I'm perfect, but I'm not some guy, you know, sagging his pants and, you know, having a pipe dream like I want to get a rap record deal or something. And don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not trying to diss a group of people, you know, but the ones that, like, we are secure. You know what I mean? So when you got that good thing, that secure thing, it's just like, oh, it's boring to some people. Like, my ex even put something on her wall talking about, you know, I don't know if she was directly talking to me about that, but yeah, too much ambition, make some time for yourself. Okay, too easy, not a problem. But oh yeah, it just, I won't say it like,
you know what? I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna cut in really quick. It's funny because people. This is what people don't realize about you, or what I guess she didn't realize. And this is what I learned ever since I met you on Street Fighter. People like, you know, make time for yourself. That new gaming order stuff you do, that is the time for yourself. You love doing that. You're enjoying it. It's not. It doesn't feel like a job or work. Like when I stream. Or when I do stuff DJing to make my DJ video, shut up, or make my DJ videos, it doesn't feel like work. It is because I'm working towards something, but it doesn't feel like it because I actually enjoy it. And they confuse the two. But go ahead.
Yeah, and 100%. Like, I did, you know, you had some guys that, you know, like I said, Robert, myself, two of our peers that I'm thinking of right now. Like, we're in a good place.
Two of your peers.
It's like, shut up. But it just comes to a point where, you know, maybe we had probably had to look at a certain demographic. Like with the online dating, like I would use that to kind of filter out those folks who are a little younger, who don't know what they want right now. I don't think I'll go under 25 or actually under 28 years old, because I don't think that they're in that mindset to really, you know, think about settling down and building something and growing with someone. You know, that's a benefit of using, you know, like the eHarmony and all that. You can find people who want the same thing if you're short on time, if you're really ambitious and you can only allocate like weekends to dating and so on and so forth, you know, just trying to tie it all in. But, you know, nowadays people have changed. You know what I mean? They're just like, hey, they don't. My mom and dad used to tell me, in their time, you didn't just up and walked away from a marriage. They were taught to sit and fix it. Nowadays, you got people who are just like, they look for the instant gratification. They do one thing wrong, they just, take the toy and throw it out instead of working on it.
Yep.
Me, I have that philosophy where, my ex made a huge mistake. A mistake that I talked to Rob in private about, that any average man would have already walked away and left that chick. But I was taught in the way where, hey, if I can get past that, I know I'll make it. But yet, my ex takes one mistake, which was minor in scope compared to what she did, and that's the end of it. Like, really? Maybe, hey, the Lord was protecting me in that, but
you gotta be wary. It's a microwave culture. Here's what happens. Unfortunately, it's the stove is hot kind of theory. You tell someone, hey, that stove is hot, don't touch it. Well, I want to find out for myself. People have a microwave mentality. They feel like, you're one and done. I can easily replace you. But a lot of people don't realize until they mess up the good thing that, hey, I can't find that again. Like, it's really hard. You got to remember that, because again, people get on Facebook, a guy sends you a message, flirts with you, I can have him. Yeah, but you don't know him. You haven't been around him. You haven't hung around his friends and family to see his habits. You haven't learned to trust him yet, and you don't know if he's really into you. So you risk a sure thing, you know what I mean? Or you get insecure in your sure thing and don't want to work on it because you feel like, it's just easier to move on. Finding good people is really, really tough to do. Finding trustworthy people is really, really tough to do. And I think a lot of you guys and girls out there listening, y'all need to keep that in mind next time someone's good is in your life. Regardless of outside opinions on your relationship, I do feel like certain things are very unhealthy, and there's certain things that I just would not tolerate. You know what I mean? I wouldn't, unless I was married, and then I would really I would pray about it, do counseling, and really try to work through it. But before I get to that step, I don't know how far I'm willing to go yet, because I haven't really been put in that position. But I say that to say this: one, be careful of who you let into your relationship, and two, always know your own self-worth and your own self-value. Don't let someone try to play you or someone take advantage of you. And it's hard when you're in love with someone, because I've been there myself. I was in love. I've talked about this a million times, so I'm not gonna go into it. And I felt taken advantage of. Now, and that person had their next relationship after me was extremely unsuccessful, and they actually came back to me. Well, we ended up back in communication, and I helped them through a situation. You know what I'm saying?
You better than me. I'm like, burn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of time had passed, bro. We're talking like 4 or 5 years had passed, so I had time to heal, get over it or whatever. And plus, I had some poom in between. But anyway,
boom boom and the poom boom. But let me ask you: was this person that you had that dilemma with, was that someone you met online or like in person?
No, we went to school together. We went to college together.
Okay. Well, hey, without going on a tangent, I could.
You already did that.
Relate. No, this is like.
Yeah, I know.
But you know what? Without straying too far from the topic, maybe a preview for the next production.
What?
Social media, and putting all your business out there.
We kind of talked about that in a previous episode. I did.
And I wasn't here.
I did it with Vixen. Pause. No
wow.
pause. Unpause.
I like that name.
Unpause. Love you, Vixen. Miss you. Need to do another show. Yeah, we talked about social media downfalls and being careful of what you put out there. And that's another thing. It's the day and age. Everybody and their mama got Facebook, so you got to be careful, because I've gotten friend requests from, girlfriends, family members, and cousins and moms, and I'm like, ugh. But
I learned that the hard way recently.
Well, I'm a professional, so I don't put anything.
Professional.
Shut up. I don't put anything crazy online anyway, because I know people search it, and I'm trying to run multiple businesses, so I don't want to put something stupid up there that's gonna cost me money, and someone will hold it against you, and you'll never understand or know why. So be careful what you put out there. But staying on topic, dating online. It's hilarious too, yo. Like, you gotta be a detective. And this is why I use, and let me tell you guys and girls, this is why I use Facebook. Because Facebook, you get to see mutual friends. You get to see a lot of stuff about somebody on Facebook. A lot of stuff.
I was saying that.
Yeah, and you can gauge to a certain extent, but you got to really talk to them to know. Because like if you look at my Facebook, you'll see that most of the time, if I'm hanging with somebody or hanging with a group of people, it's usually the same time of year when I'm getting with frat bros and stuff like that. But other than that, it's really just me, and it's either work related or something motivational, or just, you know what I mean, that's what you see, because I'm very ambitious and I'm very serious about what I'm trying to do. But and you'll see a lot of close-knit stuff on there. But if you want to dig deeper, you know, you gotta contact me. And I feel like that's more intriguing than me going to your page and being able to see everything about you and dismissing you. It takes away the mystery, you know what I'm saying? Hello?
Indeed. Yeah, that was, my head went somewhere. I'm still dealing with my situation.
Okay, we about to end this show because Schmalix isn't doing well. But I will say this as well, everyone. Those of you who are engaged in online dating, number one, be very careful. You don't know that person. You need to have a buddy system, something where you can call a friend and say, hey, you know, yeah, that's the red shirt I bought, and that's their signal for, you know, I'm in trouble or I need to get the hell out of here or something like that. Let people know. If you're going on a blind date or meeting someone from an app, call someone else that's local, of course, and say, hey, I'm meeting this guy, you know, I met him online, I'm meeting him, you know, at this restaurant at 5 o'clock. Can you go sit 2 tables across from me? Or call me every 30 minutes or 45 minutes and make sure I'm okay. Something like that. Protect yourselves. Now, I'm not going to discourage anyone from doing online dating. If that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. I mean, I understand it's a new age, it's new technology. You should not be ashamed of it. My personal preference, though, is old school. I have actually met someone online before. When I was doing this, it was basically this show before it became structured. I was in college, and I forgot what the app was called, but I would be on video and everyone else would be in the chat. And she popped in, and we've been talking for a long time. Then we became friends on Facebook. Then we started talking on Skype. Now I feel like a progression like that is better, because please, yes, Skype and FaceTime people so you won't get catfished. Easiest way to not get catfished. You can't fake Skype. You can't fake FaceTime. That's the easiest way not to get catfished. But it took a while, but we finally saw each other last year. But anyway, just take those precautions, man. That's all I gotta say about that.
Well, I would say in conclusion that I think I'm like 50-50. Like, you know, before things were available to me, I remember in AOL chat rooms, like I met a lot of folks and did a lot of bad things with that back in the day. Them chat rooms were wild, bro. Like, but I can't go into detail.
Yeah,
but
don't go into detail.
But yeah, I mean, it served its purpose. You know, I had 2 relationships, like long-term ones, based off of Facebook, or not Facebook, AOL at the time. And you know, unfortunately, it was just outside circumstances that damaged those, and one just ended up cheating. But you know, with that, I mean, it is what you make it. You know, however you reel the fish in when you go on fishing, whether you use an automated, you know, fishing hook or use the analog one, it's up to you.
That dude said, you know? Analog fishing. You mean an open face reel? Go ahead, man.
Hey, I'm not a fisherman. I'm the juggernaut. That's you know, stick my hand in the water and snatch it. You know, like caveman.
He said, "I'm not a fisherman. I'm the juggernaut." Yo, imagine a juggernaut fishing.
Yeah. No, he don't have to. He just stick his hand in the water. He's like, I'm gonna get you, Charles. I'm gonna get you.
Yo, he do the earthquake and all the fish pop out of the water. Dang.
I'm done. You know, end this show. I can't believe you said that.
Yo, Juggernaut punched the water. All right, y'all. He turned this into a gaming session. Once again, thank you all for tuning in, listening, and rocking with us. Remember, From My Experience Podcast on Facebook, From My Experience Podcast on SoundCloud. And if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, we're From My Experience Podcast on YouTube, It'll be easier if you click the link in the description on SoundCloud to get straight to the YouTube page, or if you go on the Facebook page, click the link, because YouTube changed their rules, so you can't give yourself a URL. So that's a bunch of crap. I'm trying to get these subscribers up. Thank you to Complete Vision Entertainment, our sponsor, once again. If you guys have a topic or you want to be a guest on the show, email us FromMyExperiencePodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear back to you. Rate, comment, subscribe. I don't care if it's negative or not. We like to hear back from you all. Hopefully, at the end of the day, you've learned something, or we made you think differently about something. And most of all, be safe. Protect yourself, man, because it's a crazy world out here. But anyway, we will see you next time on From My Experience. Peace.
Peace. Glad to be back.
You say you got to be black.